All right. Today's guest grew up in Coronado, California, a beach kid who became a waterman, an entrepreneur, and the founder of URT. He built a brand from scratch with $700 in his pocket and zero guarantees, all while quietly battling a condition that has slowly taken his vision. He was a personal friend of Navy SEAL Charlie Keating IV, and when Charlie was killed in action, he turned grief into purpose. This is his fourth phase. Please welcome to the show, Ian Urtnowski. Bam! I'm so happy to have you. Thanks for coming.
Dude, thanks for having me, man.
This is awesome. I've noted, like we've talked a little bit before the show, and I told you I was super excited. I've known about your shop, now you can see on the bike, I've got 2 URT stickers.
Good man.
I didn't have to go buy them; they were already on there.
Helps with the cops.
Yeah, does it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good to know. Take note of that. Yeah, I knew about the brand. I think the funny story is I thought it was a seal company too. I just put it in my mind, saw a little seal with the barking noise coming out of his mouth, and I thought, yeah, this is a seal company. And then I found out later on, before I even met you, that it wasn't. This was not a seal company. And then I go, who's the owner? What a great concept. And then Charlie had his thing and all that stuff. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You grew up, I don't know a lot of people, by the way, that were actually born and raised. Very rare for me to find guys like I've met a few over time. A lot of old family money there. Tell us about you. Tell us about Ian.
Yeah. So, born and raised in Coronado, very small beach community. This is like pre-internet, so not a lot of tourists coming because everything was LA. We were in the shadow of LA, so it was awesome for us. The only issues we had were with zonies coming here during the summer.
The zonies, I love it.
Yeah. And then I've slowly have grown to love zonies. Don't get me wrong on that. I love zonies, and but yeah, growing up in Coronado was a very special place. It's a beach community that's bookended by 2 Navy bases, and so it's a very different dynamic than most beach cities. And we still have all the beach city things like, for me, I grew up in the Coronado Shores, which are like a Miami-esque buildings that are like close on the beach, and it was a very interesting place to grow up because it was just nothing but old people in the building. And my parents had a rule that just stay where we can see you, which we were on the 8th story, so that was pretty expansive. And so my whole life was on the beach. And so that was just a way of getting out of the house and just going out, whether it was surfing, body surfing, everything was the beach. And so that's what Coronado was to me. It was just it kind of built me to the person who I am today.
Okay. Any siblings growing up?
Yeah, I had 2 older brothers. I was 10 years different from my older brothers, so I was a mistake. And
You're never a mistake, by the way. Don't say
I don't
that.
know. When I see that my birthday is 9 months away from New Year's Eve, kind of lets me know. So,
Yeah, I bet.
yeah, don't ever go 9 months away from your birthday. It's a terrible thing.
So where are your brothers now?
So I got one brother. He's a electrician in Hamul, and my other brother is still living at my parents' house.
No kidding. So the parents are still alive?
Yeah, parents are still
In the village?
Yep, in the village.
Okay.
Yep.
That's great. Tell us about you. So growing up, you are, I like to call your company, we'll get to that in a sec. Your company's SEAL adjacent. I said that on the phone. You were SEAL adjacent just because of the proximity of where you are, the guys that have come to wear your gear, which I think is fantastic. Tell us about growing up on the water. You had this love of waterman sports. Like you just wanted to live in it, on it, under it. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so a natural progression, for someone who lives on the ocean and is constantly in the water,
sure,
is to become a beach lifeguard. And, that's when you start being around more like-minded people that are kind of trying to push forward their ideas of being a waterman. And it was a huge influence on me as far as, I didn't start spearfishing or I didn't start free diving for lobsters until I was a lifeguard. All those people, we had, all the tools to do it. And, even taking out the jet ski and, going to places we shouldn't go, on the company, on the city's dollar. And it was an amazing experience. And it kind of like instilled a drive that I wanted to do more and more. Like being just good at surfing wasn't good enough. It was being good at everything in the ocean. And not only being good at it, but like, finding serenity in it. Because when we go make rescues as a beach lifeguard, it's the most fun part is to come up to the victim and just act like everything's okay. Like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah. Actually calms them down, I bet.
No, it doesn't at all.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Just they're like, give me the buoy, give me the buoy. Yeah. So for me, it was just learning to be, to find comfort in chaos was like leveling up in my life.
It's a beautiful line.
Yeah.
Comfort and chaos.
Yeah.
That pretty much sums up Buds in like one phrase.
Yeah.
Comfort and chaos. Okay.
And so that was important to me. So it's like, some of my biggest fears are deep water. Like, how do I find comfort in that chaos? Like, I don't like being able to where I can't see the ground.
Yep.
And then I have to go dive 60 feet to go find a fish. And then, still, it's a fear I never conquered. But because of my company, I still have to go do it for photo shoots, and like, it's like a curse.
So it's not just being above the water. You don't even like once you get submersed. Does that change for you?
No, that part doesn't change.
Okay.
It's only about looking down and seeing it go to black.
Yeah.
Like the fade to black, and just my imagination's pretty crazy. And so it just runs wild.
You're very similar. So I had that imagination as a kid. Even in the pool I grew up in, I used to think when the sun set and it was dusk, I would swim by myself. We had a pool in Brockton, Massachusetts. Grew up with a single mom, and I would just swim for hours. And as the sun set and the pool got dark, I literally thought sharks were going to come out of the drain and come get me. And I stayed in the water with this paranoia. But for me, it's a little different because when I dive, heights, here, let's take jumping for a second. Scared shitless when I was a kid of heights. I went up to the John Hancock building in Boston when I was like 10. And I remember I couldn't go near it's all glass windows back in the day. And I could not go near the windows because I was just petrified of heights. Put a parachute on me, throw me out the back of the plane. I feel the freest I've ever felt. No anxiety, no nothing. I got so addicted to jumping when I was in the teams. Told a different story, but same thing with the water. Driving out in the ocean, everybody's like, oh, what's under there? I feel so much better once I get in it, down deep. Like the deeper I go, the more comfortable I feel. It's weird. Yeah, you don't feel that way at all. You're just like, I hate the shit.
Well, no, I think it's different when you're in deep water with a group of people.
Yeah.
But when you're in a deep water and a boat drives off away from you,
I hear you.
to go,
Yep.
you're by yourself, and
Yep.
you know that your lifeline is just driving away.
Yeah.
I think that's the part I don't like, and it's funny. I always have to pretend like I do like it. Whatever I go spearfishing now.
Yeah, the deep blue. All right, so lifeguard. Were you ever lifeguard at the big tower there by the Coronado writing in the dunes?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was your tower?
Yep. Yeah. I was did them all. Like I was a beach lifeguard for 13 years. I worked at
13 years.
Yeah, 2 different beaches. I worked at Coronado for a long time, and then there was an incident at the North Island Breakers Beach in Coronado, like the NASNY base.
Yep.
And there was a naked volleyball incident. So the guards came back.
Were they filming Top Gun?
No, this is pre-Top Gun.
Are you sure? Pre-Top Gun.
Post-Top Gun.
Post-Top Gun,
Yeah.
second Top Gun.
Exactly. But apparently, it's kind of like the Wild West down there, or up there.
Yep.
And they all took the lifeguard vehicles back on the beach and just lit up the course with the car's headlights. And they were playing volleyball and, imbibing. And they eventually, the MPs came up, and a couple of them ran to the ocean, the ones that were naked. And then the other rest got mass fired. And
Was this pre-Navy Lodge there?
No, this is post-Navy Lodge.
Post-Navy Lodge,
Yeah.
naked volleyball happened.
Yeah.
What year was this?
This is like 2010.
I want to make sure I was not part of that game. I was not. Okay, good. We're good.
And so I got the call the next day to
2010, because it was built in 2010, 11.
yeah.
That's when it went up, brand new.
Probably right in the beginning.
This is fantastic.
And then so I got the call the next day, or they asked the Coronado lifeguards, like Coronado, like City Beach, if there'd be any emergency hires that they could take from. And I was like, oh yeah, I've heard about that beach. I'm going. So I went up there, and it's true. It's like the Wild West. We had no supervisors, no anything, and
Wow.
so full access to jet skis as he's a young man.
Yeah.
And then you can just draw your own conclusions from that.
Yeah, I bet. No, good for you. Take advantage of the resources you get. All right. So you grew up, and then so you grew up. You went to all boys.
All men. We like to say all men.
All men. That's a
Yeah,
better.
yeah. I went to all men high
I'm
school.
going to start using that. I say all boys too. Now you're right. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. I should say all men.
Yeah, I was slated and excited to go to Coronado Public High School,
Yeah. Tell the story on that
Yeah.
one. This is interesting.
but my brothers, I'd let you know they're 10 and 9 years older than me, and they got in trouble for weed, women, and alcohol. The big three. As far as my
WWA.
family's- Yeah, it's pretty. It was a big deal in our household. So my grandma heard about this thing, and so she then paid for us to go to a private Catholic high school called St. Augustine's, where real men do wear purple.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Minnesota Vikings do.
No?
I think they're real men. I think. No. Anyway, yeah. So you went there all 4 years.
Yep, all 4 years.
Graduated there. They have a great football program, from what I understand too. Like, used to be a friend of mine, boat guy. His son went to St. Augustine for 2 years, but then, long story, there was a coaching political thing, and then he ended up going to Cathedral. Nonetheless, from pipeline to pipeline, and now he's at University of Minnesota, about to start his freshman year
Yeah.
as a quarterback. So you went there, and then you went to Point Loma Nazarene.
No, I'd actually gotten. I actually went up to north to St. Mary's College.
That's right. Okay.
First I got an NROTC scholarship, so full ride, and then I went in to get physically tested and all that, and then I couldn't get corrected to 20/20 vision even with glasses, and so they took away the scholarship, but I ended up getting another leadership scholarship to that school, and attended there for 3 years, and then came back down to Point Loma Nazarene, and then I graduated with a degree in accounting.
Yeah, good for you. And you and I talked about that accounting. Tell us why accounting.
I was very interested in being an entrepreneur kind of early on in my life, of just kind of taking control of my life. And so I asked a lot of entrepreneurs, I was asking everyone, what should I be studying? And each one of them, like, it was almost like a joke. They all said accounting. Like, I wish I could understand the accounting side of things. And so that's why I dove in accounting. And I tricked myself and told myself it was kind of like a puzzle. And I'm big into puzzles. So I was like, okay, it's just a bit like an adult puzzle. And then it just ended up being terrible 4 years of me just learning a skill that I did not want to learn.
Sure.
So graduated with that degree that I did not want to do, and kind of decided to take a trip. It was an 8-month trip to New Zealand, and everyone was telling me kind of not to go that route. Kind of like after you graduate, like it's expected that you go.
Who was telling you? Who specifically told you not to go that route, and why?
I had aunts, uncles. I had like cousins,
So family.
Yeah,
Okay.
family. It's almost even a general accepted rule that you should jump right in the workforce after
Sure.
college.
It's the system.
Yeah.
This is what we've
Because
developed.
you want to avoid any work gaps in your resume. And then that was the first inkling I got that, like, if I were to work for an employer that thought me taking 8 months to go travel and grow as a human was a bad thing, then I would never want to work for them. And that kind of like what was the foundation stone for me wanting to do my company.
Where do you think that your mentality to challenge the system, which I love, that's why you're sitting on that chair right now. I'll tell you right now. Where does that mentality? Where did that mentality? How old were you at this point?
This is me at 21 or 20.
Okay, so 20 years old. You're 41 now. 40. 40 on the dot. All right, so it's 19 years ago. It's amazing that you had that. Does that come from someone in your family that challenged the system like that?
It does and it doesn't. Like it's kind of unique experiences that can be attributed to personal memories that I have that I witnessed as a young child.
Yeah.
And
like what?
So one of them to me was kind of knowing that one day that I got a diagnosis that I would potentially go blind. And so that kind of put the world into a perspective that was, very time limiting. And so that created the drive was like, you have limited time, don't waste it. And so that was a huge moment for me in my life to know that I kind of need to build my own world.
Good for you.
And so that's what was kind of all the processes that kind of led into me starting my company.
Strong move. I love that story.
Can I ask how old you were when you found out, and what was the situation? When
Yeah,
you
that's
found out?
we're going to the eye condition. That's a great question.
Yeah, so I was a nightlight kid, and I even remember my parents having like I think you're a little too old for the nightlight. It's like I think I kind of need it, like type of thing. And I would I had an inkling that I was like having vision problems when I first had sleepovers with my friends, and so we'd play hide and go seek at our place. And so I was under the impression that if I can't if I can't see you, you can't see me. And so I would pick an obvious place to hide. So the first time we played this game, I hid on the middle of a dining room table and just got in a ball.
Sometimes the obvious is great.
Yeah. And then I just remember him turning the corner and just laughing. I'm like, uh-oh. And then it was my turn. And the only reason I was able to find people was from their laughter. And so I have a million stories of that. But the only reason my parents started taking it seriously is I was on a Boy Scout trip where we hiked to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. And we were coming back up, and it was, dusk was turning into dark. No one was using their flashlights, so I didn't pull out mine.
This is pre-actual diagnosis.
This is like 12 years old.
12 years old, you had no idea this condition.
Yeah, no
Okay.
idea. I just wanted to kind of fit in. No one's bringing out their flashlights. I'm not going to bring out my flashlight. We're on the very end of getting out of the canyon, so it's all of these switchback trails. And so I'm just going without kind of vision, just hearing. And then a lot of trails are kind of have rocks on the edges.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the very edge of a switchback, before you switch the other way, I hit the rock and tumbled down a very steep slope and saved by a tree. And after the tree, there was probably like a 500-foot drop.
Wow.
To the point where they had to throw me a rope type of thing
No
with flashlights and stuff like that. And that's when my dad took me seriously, went to go see the doctor, and that's when I was finally diagnosed at pretty much the age of 13.
Age of 13, they diagnosed you.
Yeah.
Let's dig deep into that, because if it's okay, I'll let you lead. But 13 years old, you get a diagnosis. You probably didn't understand it, right?
No, because
he explained it to you. Okay. Tell everybody what it was. What's the diagnosis?
Yeah, so the diagnosis is retinitis pigmentosa.
RP, right?
Exactly. Formerly known as RP.
Yep.
Kind of an umbrella term for something they don't really know what's happening with the retina, but it's a retina problem.
Yep.
And so diagnosed at 13. Once a doctor, they kind of, started to kind of lay the foundation that I'll be going blind one day. And so suggesting Braille courses and stuff like this. And which was weird for me because I could still see fine during the day. Like nighttime was hard. But I didn't see it as a hindrance at the moment. And so, I had a brother that was dealing with things that were much worse than I was doing. And so because of that, it was just nothing compared. And so I kind of took that mentality that it wasn't a big effect on my life and kind of pushed forward, but it did kind of lay the groundwork for me thinking that, sight can leave. What are you going to do with your time? Like, are you going to be living with regret, when it all goes dark, or are you going to make a mark?
At 13.
I will say that, no, that didn't happen until I started seeing. At 13, I was naive. I didn't start seeing that part grow in me until I started seeing a reduction in vision.
Which was about when? It
was about 17.
Okay.
And so I was just about to get into college, started having, peripheral loss. And so started missing handshakes. So it's almost a comedy of errors, the things I've done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that think I'm an asshole because I've missed a handshake.
You see what I mean? When they don't know your background?
Yeah.
That's like me parking in a handicap spot.
Putting out your hand and someone just stone colding you.
Wow. Yeah. This is unbelievable. And so you knew when you went for that ROTC scholarship that you had this condition.
I did.
Did not tell them.
Did not.
Obviously. Good for you. The same thing, trying to get it.
Yeah.
But they just thought you had less than 20/20 vision.
Yeah. So I was just trying to do that for the family. I didn't want my parents paying for my college.
Good for you.
And this is just what I could do to help to be a part of the solution for financial stress. And so for me, trying out for that scholarship was just that. I really had no idea what I wanted to do in the Navy after that. But it was just important for me to be an assistant.
Well, let me ask you. You grew up literally where Hell Week after Hell Week after Hell Week would explode. Like literally front row seat. Did it ever cross your mind? I want to be a team guy?
I can't say that, 100%. But when I was a lifeguard at the beach, we had a class UDT like 19 guy, legend, and he was a lifeguard. I think he even lied about his age to still become a lifeguard.
Love this guy already.
And he's an absolute legend. You should have him on your show.
He's still in Coronado?
Still in Coronado.
Who is it? Do you remember?
It's a Lance Mann. And so he
So
was,
I know the name.
Yeah.
I know the name Lance Mann.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was
Write that down, babe.
Yeah, he
Lance
was a
Mann.
lifeguard with us. And he inspired a whole bunch of Coronado lifeguards to become SEALs. There's actually a plaque in the captain's office. And it's an absurd amount of success stories who tried out. I think maybe only one of like 19 didn't make it.
No,
And
I'm
so,
not surprised.
so it actually got to the point where the SEALs were actually recruiting directly to the lifeguards. And so like I can't say for 100%, like I don't know if that was my mindset at that age, but like once I know that I had, at the 17 age when I got the scholarship,
Right.
I don't think that was there. And after that, I kind of took things off the board because of my eyes. And so I didn't really give that 100% thought.
Okay. Yeah, it's amazing. There had to be some influence there watching it. I mean, what'd you think as a kid watching SEALs like?
Oh, well, it's amazing.
Running down
so the Shores is directly the next door neighbor.
Yep.
The Coronado Shores where I grew up.
So I hate the Shores. Sorry to cut you off. I hate the Shores, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
That was the marker for the 2-mile swim, and it felt like an eternity. I can't. I go, oh God, here we go, and it just you'd swim, and it wouldn't move, and you're looking at the Shores, and they don't move. They're not getting any closer, and time is going by. That's why I grew up to hate the Shores as a landmark. I actually never have stepped foot in one of those buildings over there. I always wanted to go in there.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of people that lived over there, but never got invited to the party. So,
But yeah, as a kid who grew up in a building, like we're always trying to get outside. Like that's natural.
of course,
And so before 9/11, there was no, guard that would stop you from
Yep.
going onto the base.
yeah, it was pretty open. It's
Yeah.
wild.
So I remember like just packing like 4 Capri Suns and just putting it in my backpack and just hiking down there into Gator Beach and just watching Hell Weeks, just sitting on the sand dune and just watching Hell Weeks. Like I remember collecting paintballs and thinking that they were like sea turtle eggs
Yeah.
and trying to bring them home.
Hey, look.
And then my mom, like God bless her, she's like, "Oh, put them under the heat lamp, then maybe they'll hatch." I'm like, "Okay."
It's a good mom.
No, yeah.
Although you'd be like, these things don't hatch, and I don't believe in sea turtles.
Yeah. So like, going down there was like a normal day. It's like I had my cousins come visit and like that was the thing we would do. It's just, and then got to the point where like I'm watching breakouts.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got used to breakout, or the guns triggered you to get up. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I learned all my bad words. Like that's where just listen to your guys' breakouts and literally being like 10 feet away from you guys as you guys are dying.
I wonder. You must have watched me break out.
I'm thinking about it. man.
1997.
So, yeah, that would have been.
We were the
years.
ones who had Demi Moore was invited to our breakout. They stopped doing that. That was around the G.I. Jane
Oh yeah.
years, right?
Where they make
She
Coronado look
literally
like this.
sat. I don't remember it because obviously I was in a complete hot mess, trying to find my swim buddy running around the compound. But she was there. I remember that, and that's pre 9/11. Probably wide open to you guys, being able to watch.
Yeah. If you ever remember a like 7-year-old on the sand dune, that was me.
I'm sure I didn't see anything. Yeah, it's complete
It
chaos.
was amazing. Like there was trenches we could like explore. It was like an amazing childhood to have that right there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then just to watch you guys, carry boats on the beach, just sit there and just like, that was a very impactful thing. And it kind of made me realize how special Coronado was. Like not at the moment, but like later on in my life.
Yeah, it was a special place when we went there. I thought it was an amazing place. I want to talk to you about that. We'll talk about it later. How you think the vision, how you think the island has changed a lot. To me, it seems like it has,
Oh, yeah.
culture-wise, but we get there. All right, so you're 17, you're going in, you know this condition. Does fear continue to grow as you're going through the phases? You went through all men's high school, and then you went to college. Are you still in the back of your mind like, when's my eyesight going to go? When's my eyesight going to? Because ultimately the prognosis is complete blindness. What is the prognosis?
Yeah, prognosis is complete blindness.
Complete
Yeah,
blindness.
but there's things that you can do. Like I get every 2 months I get steroid injections in my eye.
Okay, slows it down.
Yeah, slows it down completely.
Sure.
And then so that's been holding strong. I've had several surgeries that have helped, had tumors removed and stuff like this. And so It's very preventative. Like even the stem cell research is kind of climbing up in that world.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of money getting poured into eyes for stem cell, and because everyone wants to be the Jesus doctor that,
Right.
that
Of
cures
course.
the blind, and so so it's getting there, and
Okay.
so that but I've never relied. I've always hated false hope, and I've never relied on it, and so it just seems crazy to me to base your life on someone else doing something.
So acceptance is a big deal.
Yeah.
True acceptance is a big deal.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I told you, when I was diagnosed with 4 silent strokes from a traumatic blast, they don't know any. Come to find out, they don't know anything about the cerebellum. Nothing. Brain doctors, neuro, like all these people. And it gets scary at first, and you're like, what does that mean? Am I losing my memory? They don't know. But acceptance. Eventually, you're like, okay, it's time to move on. I got to move on. I mean, I always had this debate. I don't know if you talk to your brothers or anything about it or your family, but I always had this debate with people about, it would always come up, would you rather be deaf or blind? My answer flip-flops like throughout the years. And at the end of the day, I don't know, today, I think I'd rather be deaf than blind. And you're going to have the opposite. Let's hope that these things continue to work and it continues to progress. Anybody in the network that we might know, who, I wouldn't send you false hope. This is what happened to Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, went on, what did he do? A late diet, said he was only going to go to a naturopath and did not want to go to mainstream medicine at the very end, whether he accepted it or not, but it didn't, nothing he was doing obviously helped out. He had pancreatic cancer, which my mother died of. It's a death sentence, literally a death sentence.
I think the important thing is to know what hand you're playing with.
Yeah.
I think accepting the hand that you've been given is everything, and knowing your options from there. I think that's where you can start drawing your paths.
I'm dumbfounded by that. That is the perfect advice. I mean, you are skilled enough to give that advice. I've never heard that line. You seem so comfortable with it. I'm so impressed by your composure with having to talk about this potential blindness. It's amazing. You dug something up earlier too. I wanted to bring this up about the accounting because I learned the same lesson but way too late. So I told you I was educated on paper. I went to all men's high school in Boston. I was an athlete, went to college, got a business degree. I didn't know what the hell, you're expected to know this stuff when you're young, but I didn't have any entrepreneurs around me. I had nobody. I the product of a single mom, and she did what she did. I saw my worth ethic from my mother. She worked her ass off to support 2 kids in a lower middle class city. Come from the same city that Marvelous Marvin Hagler comes from. I don't know if you know that. If you followed boxing back in the day, he was a neighbor of ours. But but that was before he was big time, and it was a boxing town, and it was a manufacturing town. And my mother, raised us, made enough money to sacrifice and put me through all men's high school, and that's my new term. I love it. And so I went through, but I didn't have entrepreneurs. I didn't have anybody that actually taught anything about finance and business. So I grew up a mess with money, not really knowing what I wanted to do with my life, which ended up in the SEAL teams. Go figure. That's where the misfits go. But it wasn't until I got to Harvard where I started to come in contact with people that actually grew businesses, didn't work for the man, outside the system. And the one thing I heard, and I can't remember who said it, but you nailed it because you had exposure early on for your degree. They always said, yeah, you should have taken accounting. Everybody that started a business said the same thing. And I heard a great phrase at Harvard through one of my mentors. And he said to me, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. That could not be truer today. If everybody, you hang out with a gamer that smokes weed and, gets drunk every night, that's going to be your path. If that's your 5 friends, that's the direction you're headed. You hang out with people that start businesses, are go-getters, grinders, know how to do it right. You will become and learn things from them. That was one of the takeaways was accounting. So I told my kids study accounting. I don't think they looked at me like, yeah, I hate math. So I don't know that's going to happen. Nobody takes advice from their father. And speaking of that, wife's pregnant.
Wife's pregnant. Yeah.
Kid number 1 on the way.
Yep. She's with child. So it's an amazing time for us. It took a lot of time for us to get here. Couldn't be more excited. Always thinking about how to have a kid with vision problems.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be a lot of bells on ankles. I think that's the trick.
You're already thinking smart moves.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've already kicked enough babies in my life, so don't want to do it to my own.
Yeah. I wonder if iPhone monitors something. Yeah, you just got me thinking. Amazing, huh?
I have no idea. I've not looked into it, but yeah, that's going to change
He's
the way you
good.
do everything.
You're forward. You got to be forward thinking when you have to deal with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's going to be yet? Are we that far along?
Oh yeah, it's a boy.
Yeah,
it's a
right
boy.
on. Okay, good for you.
Exciting.
Yeah, pretty excited about that. So
Tell everybody. So you tipped us off on this one, but how were you able to avoid the condition in the child? How were you able to do that?
yeah, because I have a dominant disease, like a dominant gene disease.
This is amazing.
It would be a 50% chance that our baby would have
That is wild.
the disease. So we did IVF. I didn't want to put my wife in a position where she was taking care of two, and so because of that, we decided to jump into IVF world, and it's crazy. It's like a science fiction book. But,
I know nothing about it. Tell me.
It's amazing to watch happen. It's surreal to kind of be on the side as operations are happening, and your wife's being impregnated. It's kind of a trip and kind of hard to take in, but at the end, it's when you see the pictures, it's just a beautiful, beautiful moment, and it's very fortunate we're able to see the pictures at like very young, and we get to see this thing grow up from a tiny blob into a human, and so it's been I'll say like I've seen my son at the earliest than somebody who's gone through a natural birth.
This is the case for in vitro, right? So what's the big controversy? But there's some kind of controversy around it. I'm not sure. I'm not in the game, so
I think it comes more from a religious standpoint.
Is that what it is?
I believe so. I'm sure there's a million controversies, but at the end of the day,
Everything's always controversial. Everybody's going to stir up something. But this is proof positive of exactly why that procedure is amazing.
My biggest controversy with it is that it's damn expensive.
Yeah, yep. Science. It's amazing science, though, to be able to avoid that. I mean, you're talking about You're talking about going to Vegas, rolling the roulette, black or red. If you didn't get it done, right? Black or red is going to have the. I think that's mind blowing.
Yeah.
I have a question about the gene. You said there's a 50% chance of the child having it because you've been diagnosed with it, but genetically, did anyone else in your family have this?
That's the thing. No one else in my family had it.
So where does it come from?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if people died before it could show.
Okay.
I'm considered a very early onset one, and so like it's a dominant gene, and so both my parents had that gene, and I got
just triggered in you for whatever
somehow
reason.
triggered in me, and it seems like it happened at puberty.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's all weird.
Hormones kick in, man. Things take over.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's great. When did you get married?
I got married in 2012 civilly, and then 2014 in Poland at a Catholic basilica.
Urtnowski, but he's only 25% Polish.
Pronounced Urtnowski.
Urtnowski.
Yeah, the W's are V's.
Yeah.
Learn something new. I got to get this right. It's my new favorite company. All right. In 2010-ish, you started URT.
Yeah.
Let's talk about URT. $700 in your pocket. We already know the motivation. We dug it out. It was motivation there. So
Yeah.
how did the t-shirt thing come up?
So, at that point, started to look for like, what should I be doing with my life? And as a beach lifeguard, I was known by my last name, Urtnowski. Then everyone couldn't care less about the Polish part, so they just called me Urt.
Yep. Natural.
Yep, natural, just Urt. And then every day we were supposed to do an hour of PT, physical training. And so I was out surfing, getting paid. It's awesome.
Can't beat it. Yeah. I always said that in the SEAL teams.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid every day.
And then I hear someone yell my name, Urt. And I turn around, it's a sea lion, just barking. And I'm like, oh, that's the idea. That's right. That's it right there.
No kidding. That's the moment.
Yeah, that's the moment.
Awesome.
And so I remember coming to the beach, writing it down. And then for the next, 2 years, just trying to figure out a logo.
I feel like that was a God moment. Like that was so
crazy.
divine.
This is such a divine story. Man, this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that included with the whole Navy SEAL presence on Coronado, and the serendipitous moment of that is just too much to kind of for me to take in, and just and Charlie, the way that he kind of embodied URT, and is just awe-inspiring to me.
So you saw the sea lion. Took 2 years to develop that. That was is this the original logo?
Yeah, this original logo. Thank God, silhouettes were still in style, a la the Apple logo and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I didn't need too much skill. I think I found a picture in some, you know, biology book, turned its head around, and then found a picture of a barking sea lion. And then the biggest question for me, was it going to be bubbles or was it going to be lightning bolts? And just, it had to be lightning bolts.
Great call, by the way.
Yeah.
Bubbles would have softened the blow.
Yeah, I'm almost
My non-designing opinion.
Yeah.
She would know best. She probably would have told you lightning bolts as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like, okay, I have a logo. I have a name for the company. I think it's $1 million hitter right away. Boom. And then little I didn't know, it takes years and lots of work for things to kind of take off. But I was trying to figure out, what should I be doing? Like, what can I do? Like, I'm kind of young. I have no money. And then I kind of researched the cheapest entry cost into any industry is clothing. Just put on a t-shirt. And then I was like, well, I mean, that seems too easy. Like, what else can I do to make us stand out? And so because I was a lifeguard and we were all hyper interested in becoming watermen, I wanted to create something that would appeal to watermen. And so I came up with the idea of putting the tie chart on the inside of the shirt.
Yeah, this is a great concept. Go ahead, explain
And so
that
the
one.
idea was like you'd flip it over and you'd have a year's worth of tie charts on the inside. And so I wanted to appeal to people that I would actually use tie charts. But the problem with the whole tie chart thing is they lose value.
Yep.
So you've basically printed yourself into a timeline that loses value.
Yep.
No one wants to buy a
It's a picture.
December.
It's a picture in time.
Yeah. Exactly. And then we started to sell some more shirts, and then we started having people, on the East Coast that wanted their own tie chart. So I was young and hungry, so I was like, I'll make you a tie chart. And making a tie chart for a year in Excel takes forever.
Oh my God, I can't
yeah.
imagine. I cannot imagine. You have to have the almanac. You get the whole thing out. Yeah.
And then you find out lakes and rivers have tides.
Yeah.
And then like some like Lake Erie lifeguard service wants tie charts. I'm like, man, I wish I had ChatGPT there.
Yeah. Right. That would have been. Well, it is what it is. Did the hard work up front.
And then we started doing that. We started appealing to watermen. Started doing events that were kind of to help to give us a heartbeat, to kind of personify the brand. So we did a free dive lobster grab competition, body surfing competition, free surfs, hole digging competition.
You said we. Did you have a partner at this time? Did you bring someone else in?
No,
Just you.
Yeah, it's
You in the seal
Yeah,
and the
makes us
sea
look
lion.
bigger if I say we. And then I started doing like a hole digging contest, and so this kind of be like a nostalgic event. Like you ever bring your shovel to the beach and your parents encourage you, like, yeah, you can dig to China. And so like we're taking all these aspects of a waterman life from youth to adulthood, and try to incorporate into the branding of the company. And so we were very much trying to position ourselves as being a high beach IQ brand. And at the same time, being in Coronado, I had a whole bunch of, like I said, lifeguards that were becoming Navy SEALs. You grow up in Coronado, you go to the bars, you're going to become friends with Navy SEALs. As a lifeguard, I actually hate you guys because you guys just ripped us out of the equation of getting a girl at the bar.
Competition
Like,
is stiff.
If we were in any other tourist beach town, we would be like the kings. But no, you guys had to like set up shop.
Tough place
in my
to be.
town, dude.
The funny thing is, we'd be in the bar going, "Yeah, we're just local lifeguards."
Dude.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of lifeguards, or the Red Bull jump team.
Yeah.
Whatever wasn't true, but that's funny. You guys should have just walked in and said, "Yeah, we're Navy SEAls."
Oh yeah, that's a great.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about the lifeguard community competing against SEAls, but that's plenty go around.
Yeah, right. And then so I had a whole bunch of friends who were Navy SEAls at that time, or going through buds and all this, and it got to the point where I had some friends ask if they could make my logo their patch when they for like either their platoon patch or just a patch for them to wear on deployment. And I was like, of course, like go get it, man. And they would make it themselves and put it on their body, and didn't think much of it. I just thought it was like pretty cool to have the most ultimate waterman wearing the logo that's made for watermen.
Perfect match.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, and to have it be on my friends, and then then I start getting pictures back from GWAT.
Those are the best.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was I had a buddy that made a stencil of it, and every time they cleared a building, they just spray paint the logo on the door just to let people know that it was cleared.
Badass.
I was like, wait, what's happening here? And then it got to the point where I had a cousin who is a former team guy. He was going through buds, and they made him take off his URT sticker off his car because he hadn't gone through, it wasn't a white shirt yet. And so I was like, whoa, 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 what's happening?
Time out. There's a misbranding here.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, it's a sea lion. What are we doing here? It's a sea lion. And so, you know, trying to figure out like, you know, like, what are we like? And I would say that's the best thing about, you know, starting with $700 and just recycling the money. I wasn't paying myself. And so everything I was doing was very aim small, miss small. And so, you know, I never had made like a business plan where like I was stuck or confined in some borders that, you know, that I didn't plan out. And so we started to like, okay, you know, what is our, you know, Navy SEALs are wearing the brand. We're in Coronado. Like, what does that mean? Like, I'm not a Navy SEAL. Like, I'm a civilian. And so like, how can I, use the best brand ambassadors in the world, you know, without being, you know, acting like I'm like stealing valor. And so that's when we kind of decided that the brand should be more about Coronado, which is, you know, a beach community that's bookended by 2 Navy bases. And, you know, I would always ask the friends that would wear the logo, you know, on deployments, like, you know, like why did you want to wear that? And they would always tell me it just reminded them of home. It reminded them of just coming home and to be able to body surf again. And so that's when everything started to click. And that's when we started to introduce, you know, patriotism into the brand, and you know, started incorporating more rifles into our marketing, which you know, definitely pissed off some people. But for us, we'd found our niche, we found our home.
Did you get so it pissed off somebody? Stop right there. Did you actually get some feedback? Did somebody come to you and say, "Hey"?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Somebody from Orange Avenue.
Yeah, I mean, like you have to remember, like our marketing spectrum is you know, from animal lovers at this point,
Yep,
all the way to man killers. And so
that's why the island is so unique. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's home to the friendliest serial killers in the world. Like it is an amazing place. Like and you couldn't feel more safe.
You know, it's funny that people will make a big deal about that when you have such a huge amount of integrity to sit there and say, you have a community around you that's embracing this logo and that wants to wear it, and you have the integrity to sit there and say, listen, we don't want to position ourselves and just ride off the backs of Navy SEALs, and that you still have people that are not happy. You know, like people coming at you. I think it just goes to show that your brand has a huge reputable, like there's a lot of reputation behind your brand.
Absolutely.
So I think that's something to be proud of.
Class act.
Yeah.
That's what I call a class act. You are a gent. I just love this story. You tingle my spine. I honestly do. Like Chris Matthews getting tingles down my leg. If you guys remember that one? Yeah. So all right. So this is all happened in 2010. It's funny because I arrived on the West Coast 2010. I'd spent my time. We didn't have an Urt on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I don't know when you're going to open the shop. If you have already, get out there.
No.
It's probably spread already though out there. Yeah, we weren't able to wear that stuff. I would have wore it 9/11. I was in Afghanistan in November of 2001. That's how early I was there. I would have been happy to fly.
Yeah.
The sea lion all over the place. But yeah, so this has all happened in 2010 on. Let's fast forward a little bit. You have a relationship. This fitting time, right? So you talk about serendipity. She reached out to you. You reached back. We finally got you on the show. May 3rd is going to be the anniversary for Charlie Keating.
Yeah.
How did you meet Charlie? What was your relationship?
So I met Charlie Keating when I was a lifeguard in Coronado. His cousin was my good friend, and we worked together at the beach as lifeguards. And he would come, and when he came to San Diego, he was prepping for BUDS. And so when I first met him, it was while he was training to go through BUDS and getting in the pipeline. And so we would do all our training together. And our whole motto was earn your beer. And so we would work out, you know, he'd come during our PTs, ask us what time our PT was, so he could PT with us. And then, you know, so it was very much like, and like he was very adamant about becoming the best waterman. And so he was spearfishing, he was surfing. You know, he was a Zoni kid that would come in the summers and, you know, and just embrace, you know, the beach culture. And so he was nonstop. And so Charlie Keating was always one that was down to party, and always one that to down to suck, like suck up the pain. And he was a perfect model for the teams.
Yeah, he's larger than life. Charlie was larger than life. So you guys hung out together. After hour stuff, I imagine you guys hung out the bars and sometime or whatever. Because he went to BUDS 08 ish. I think Charlie was class 266.
Uh,
I can't memorize
remember
everybody's Bud's
exactly.
class, but it's around
I know
266.
it's 2.6 something.
I think he was one of 14. So I was one of 16 original guys in my class. He was one of 14. So we had a very similar story. But he has the sense of humor, all the characteristics I talk about that are necessary to be a misfit SEAL, right? He probably I didn't know Charlie well enough to get his background. I know they came from a wealthy family, but that's what actually turns a lot of guys away. So we did a huge study on this. So if you dig into somebody's background, that's actually the chip on their shoulder to driving Buds. They want to do something different than the family did. They don't want any part of that. Charlie was that type of guy, and he had a sense of humor that was hilarious. And he was hell of a runner, phenomenal swimmer. I think his brother's like big time swimmer, right? Is it the brother?
Yeah, he's a gold medalist.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so fast forward, May 3rd, 2016. I was on the East Coast. Everybody, it's like 9/11. Everybody knows if you knew Charlie, you knew who you were when he died. I was on the East Coast going for an internship out at the Chamber of Commerce. When I heard the news, where were you? What was your reaction?
I got a phone call, still in bed. I think it was 7 a.m. And it was from my cousin who's in the teams. And he informed me that Charlie had been killed in action. And it was just immediate hang up to the phone and just kind of look at my wife who's still sleeping and just kind of get up and leave the room and just kind of sit down in silence and just kind of take it all in. And then, from that, I kind of started immediately thinking, what can I do at this point to help? And at that point, the family had started to say like, hey, come to the house and kind of, be with us. And so we all culminated there, and you started to see the effect that Charlie's passing had on everyone. And it was just thick. It was one of the hardest moments of my life.
It's
just
heavy.
Seeing others' pain. And so I'm thinking, like, what can I do? And at this point in time, we all rely on our strengths, when there's a tragedy. And so at this point, I hit up a couple of people to see if they would donate some money because I didn't have that much at the time. We're still a very small brand. And asked if they would donate so I could build him a memorial shirt to give to him at his funeral or his memorial service. And so I got enough money to make 600 shirts. Came up with the design. If you see this design, it's called Chuck Heavy. And
Wearing it.
yeah, the design is hilarious. On the back, it's him looking like he's Rambo, and like he's the biggest goofball in the world. And it had nothing to do with Rambo. And I came up with the name Chuck Heavy to kind of border the design because Chuck didn't drink Bud Light. He was a heavy guy.
Love it.
And so made the shirts. Came to memorial service. Out there giving out shirts, had a couple team guys come up to me and thought they were going to punch me in the face because they thought I was selling.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I finally explained to him, and then they finally ended their conversation.
Good.
With,
I'm glad you're on the podcast today then.
I'm an extra large. And so I give them a shirt.
Of course.
Yeah.
You want one right away.
Yes.
I've got the Aloha Bone Frog. You got the Chunky. 600 shirts, they probably went like wild cakes, like hot cakes.
Yeah. And from that moment after Charlie passed, we made those shirts. The demand for more of those shirts was so outrageous that I had a meeting with Charlie's parents, and we talked about how big of an imprint that Charlie left on everyone. And they kind of decided right then and there that they wanted to start a foundation and to start having the T-shirt sales, or to have me start selling the C4 collection on our page so that we could raise money for the C4 Foundation. And, they talked about, I was on the original board, and we talked about, like, what do we want to do? And at that time, they wanted to do what was important to Charlie. And for Charlie, it was family. Like, he had so many cousins. I'm from a family of so many cousins. Like, when we got together, it was just, autonomous kids just having the time of their lives.
Same here. Yep.
And so family was the biggest concern. And so one thing we wanted to address was kind of the way the family unit decompresses after and before deployments and during. and there really isn't anything that they do. It's here's
Well, I can tell you what they do. You've probably heard
nights
it.
in Germany.
Yeah, and it's exactly right. That's it.
Yeah.
It is the worst design. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. Ask me about it afterwards.
Yeah. So like we wanted to address the idea of decompression as a family unit instead of just a soldier. And this would entail that we are a part of the process before deployment, during deployment, and after deployment. And so they decided that as the parents, and I was like, I kind of just wanted to get you guys cruise tickets and just kind of like, let's just raise money and just pass it off. And they were not like that. They ended up buying.
That was your idea, the cruise tickets?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was
trying
going to tell you that's not
I was
going
trying to get you guys cruise tickets.
That's as bad as the Germany thing, but
Yeah,
anyway.
I was trying to pass it off.
Yeah.
And so his parents and the family had the idea of getting a ranch and creating an ecosystem of decompression and preparing for being away from your husband or being away from your wife, and creating a community for the kids to all get together and have the common bond that all their dads are gone. And so it became a beautiful thing, and then they started creating this environment where it was just like a safe harbor. And I'm just so proud of what it's all become. It couldn't be a bigger thing for me.
So look, we've met for the first time. I'm super proud of you. That whole story. I always said, you're never truly gone if you're not forgotten. And the way you've honored Charlie through this whole thing. When I saw the shirts were just that you connect. I connected right away when got the Aloha Bone Frog. In fact, my stepdaughter gave me one for Christmas this year. And then I got bleach on it and I was pissed off. My wife went and bought me another one to replace it because it's my favorite shirt. You're never truly gone until you're forgotten. And so the goal is not to forget. And the way you've honored Charlie is hopefully every SEAL, gets honored this way, especially when they die in battle. I believe they are in their communities and across, but we want to spread the word loud and far. And so truly humbling to have had you done that. For those, the backstory is, for those who don't know Charlie Keating and who may be watching, Charlie Keating IV, he was killed as part of a QRF going into just north of Mosul, forget the town's name, but went to rescue a couple guys on an advise and assist mission. ISIS had broken the walls of the Peshmerga, who are badass warriors, by the way. Worked with them in the past, a couple times in Iraq. So they're born and bred warriors and natural fit for side by side with a team guy. And so they amassed about 100 of them, I think was the count. You never really know. And they busted through the Peshmerga line, and Charlie got caught. They don't know if it was sniper fire or just stray fire, but he took a mortal wound. And they got him out in the golden hour. The helicopter ran in, took some shots, and from what I understand, it was a mortal wound right away. So thank you for all that. And I wasn't best of friends, but you're always close friends to a team guy when you're in the teams. It was just a natural bond. I knew Charlie, knew his wife. A lot of people don't know they secretly got married before that. Brooke babysat my kids back in 2011. I met Charlie larger than life, and I told you I was with him the day before he deployed in Coronado. I had just a little going away kind of thing for him, and devastated when you meet somebody and they pass like that. And so thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it.
I mean, it was the only option.
Yep.
Yeah. It's funny because we based Charlie's memorial shirt off, Bud Heavy, or just Budweiser. I've had a lot of my friends who are team guys kind of give their requests on drink shirts for them, and which is the weirdest conversation in the world. Like, if I die, it's gonna be Tennessee whiskey. Like I was like, okay. I was like, I can't do this right now. I said it, and then it happened so much. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna make you a Zima. Like,
oh God, yeah, wow. I haven't heard that in a long time. Yeah, right. Who the hell's drinking Zima?
No, nobody.
Yeah, it's like Molson from Canada. Yeah, that is truly a profound story. And so we talk about on the fourth phase, identity shifts and brand shifts. That seems like that was a turning point for the brand with Charlie.
Yeah, 100%. We once the demand for their Chuck Heavy shirts kept coming in, we made it available on our website. And as soon as we launched, I think it was like 3,000 T-shirts, and we were used to 4 T-shirts a day, and we were still doing like copy and paste the address, like line 1 into like the shipping module, and so it took us forever. And we would set up folding parties with the family, where we get 3,000 shirts in, and then we'd all have pizza, and we create this bonding moment where we're all folding and bagging, Chuck Heavy shirts. And this is before I had the money to pay for others to, pay for the screen printers to actually fold and bag them. And so with that, we created the seed money for the C4 Foundation, and it was such a bonding experience with me and the family that it's like we will be unbreakable.
And they're still going off the shelves today.
Yeah, it still goes off the shelf. Even though it's 10 years, May 3rd marks the 10-year anniversary.
That is a true impact. That I don't know if you embrace that.
I mean, I started looking at it as a measure of my life. I'm 40. It's been 10 years. That's 25% of my life. That's post-Charlie. And URT has truly become the house that Charlie built. And it's the hardest pill to swallow, that my success is driven from someone's death. And it's also a beautiful moment for me to know that he's the reason.
Well, look at it this way. URT, you just ensured what I just said earlier. URT has ensured that Charlie's never forgotten. That's in stone.
That's
People
my
will
mission.
wear that shirt. And I think you've accomplished it. Mission accomplished, sir.
Yeah.
Like, end of mission. So fantastic job. We are, blown away. We went and got the Chuck Heavy shirt so I could wear it today because the anniversary's coming up, and because I didn't have one yet, and I see them all around town. I see the stickers. I'm like, God, I got to get one of those. This is the perfect opportunity, and we are going to support you.
If people want to pick up a shirt, where can they go to get a shirt right now? And alternatively, if they just want to donate to the foundation, is there somewhere that people can go and just donate to the foundation?
Yeah. We have on our website at urtnowski.com. You'll never get sick of saying that.
URT. I like it. It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we have the C4 collection on that website, and also you can also access that shop on the c4foundation.org website. And we have a new launch coming up with all his 10-year anniversary collection.
Yep.
So this year's going to be big. A lot of people flying out of town that were first impacted the first year, so it's like a big kind of almost an alumni scenario.
All right, set one aside. I got to get one of those.
Gotcha.
I need a T-shirt. I'm coming in to get one. That's great. I'm glad we know that. The time's coming. May 3rd. What is the future? Do you do all the design work yourself?
I do. I'm starting to hire design assistants now as my eyes are kind of going. It's getting a little bit harder for me. So I follow, I think, a style that's called American Standard or American Traditional. And so it's very easy to have people have the same skills. So started to be
There's a
comfortable.
style called American Traditional.
Tattoo style, yeah.
It's a tattoo style.
It's like almost Sailor Jerry, but a little bit more modern.
It's not the Bone Frog, Aloha Bone Frog type
No.
stuff.
Yeah, it's the Bone Shaka is something I made because people were starting to conflate the URT logo with Charlie.
Yep.
And I thought that was unfair to him because I have a lot of stupid shirt ideas that I bring to life. And so I wanted to create something that was unique to Charlie. And his nickname in the teams was the Aloha Warrior.
Yep.
Just because the way he had serenity in chaos. Like it was the whole idea of comfort in chaos, and he almost had a joy for it. And just excited. And so they called him the Aloha Warrior. And so knowing that nickname, I developed the Bone Shaka logo. And so I think it's on my hat.
It is on your hat, and I love it. I love that on the back of my shirt. I get asked all the time. I'm in airports, and people ask me all the time. I mean, I got the Bone Frog on my foot. I love that. Mali Osteo, bad to the bone. But that was a very unique, it blends right in with the SEAL culture as well.
Yeah, and it was important for me to have people differentiate URT and C4. And so that was a big design for me. And so I'm glad that he's got something for himself.
Yeah, and so the future of the company, what do you see? What's the vision of URT right now?
It's
10-year plan.
Got 10-year plan. Don't have a 10-year plan. Right now we're in a good place where I'm living in the moment, focus on family, and the idea of having a baby. And so I'm in an automation phase where I'm trying to take stuff off my plate.
No, you're in the fourth phase. That's where you're at. You're living in the present.
Yeah.
I love it. That was a great answer.
And, I'm trying to have things taken off my plate at this moment, but I still find ways of, heaping more stuff on. And so I'm actually starting a new brand with the C4 Foundation and one of their scientific board of advisors. It's set to kind of launch mid-August, and it's going to be with someone on our scientific board. I don't know if you skateboarded as a young kid.
I did not. I was from Boston.
Yeah.
We didn't have that. It was a big thing.
Yeah, but so Rodney Mullen is a part of this.
Okay.
He's the godfather of street skating, and he created the ollie, the kickflip, the heel flip,
Yep.
pop shove it.
Heard the term.
Yeah. He's
Spent enough time on the West Coast
he's
to
the
pick it up.
So so putting a lot of my time to that, still trying to keep up with all the URT to-dos, which just seem to be endless. And so honestly, it's just calendar year by calendar year. If I think 10 years, I'm doing it wrong.
Good for you. Yeah, living in the present. That's one of our key themes, and I'm glad you said that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We've been going an hour. I could talk to you all day. You've hit pretty much every one of the 5 pillars that are the fourth phase. Like when I talked to you yesterday, we weren't sure you were in there, and then as we talked more, I go, this guy is the epitome of this podcast. Like, yeah. So we would like to get. I don't know if we can put the link on our page for C4. We're going to do it. Donate. We'll get it from him. We'll work with Ian. Yeah. Any last thoughts?
No, just thanks for having me and
No.
being patient.
Are you kidding? Thanks for coming on. This is you are just I'm moved by you. I think everybody, like I said, everybody has a story. Your story is amazing. Look, you got the eyesight problem, but you have the heart of a team guy. Like you have the heart of a team guy. Yeah, I don't say that to many people. You are a true warrior. I think you'll have no problem with it. You go blind. I don't care. I think you're still going to make kick-ass stuff. I think you're going to be a kick-ass dad, which is the most important thing, because that comes with your heart. And I think you're going to be a kick-ass husband. And so, yeah, thanks for coming on. This was great. We're going to get the word out. Urt.com, right? Go there for the T-shirts. Babe, any parting shots?
Yeah, just if anybody.
I feel like I don't want to let him go. I got another hour.
I could ask a lot more questions too, but it's just social media. If anybody wants to follow you on social media, get in other than the website, what are your social accounts they can follow?
Yeah, we're just at Urt on everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so try to keep it real simple. URT.
Perfect.
Yep. And so, yeah, you can find out some more on there for sure.
Okay.
Awesome.
Urt, before you go, we're going to be, you're our third guest. Everybody comes on the Fourth Phase podcast. I know you don't have the green, red, and blue, but we give out a helmet. Fourth Phase podcast. We painted it black, just all encompassing, all space. Wrote you a little note from Crystal and I on there. Thank you for being a guest. That's for you.
Thank you, brother.
And I also want to give you, I don't do this for everybody, but just because your story, I made a personal coin when I retired 21 years, got all my commands. Pretty proud of it. I like to say it's the best coin of the teams. Copy me, guys. Copy me. Don't. But I want to give you one of my coins.
Dude, thank you, brother.
Yeah, my appreciation. That's my pleasure. Yeah, it's great. This is great. I'm going to be thinking about this show for a long time. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, at the Fourth Phase Podcast. I always say at. It's the Fourth Phase Podcast wherever you go, TikTok, Instagram. Follow us. If you liked anything from the show, please comment on YouTube. We love the comments. We try to respond. If we don't get to you, we'll eventually will. If we don't get to you right away. But yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks for joining us.